Welcome to Boonedockery. I've been out camping with some friends of mine, and during that time we've shared everything you share when you go camping together. You share stories, you eat around the campfire and things like that. But now, since I've got this YouTube channel thing going, I've noticed that everything is a potential video. And that opportunity happened with the ability to be able to collect some water to replenish our water supply. So what I did is I went and pieced some video together for that, and I added some video that I had planned on doing, and that's going to be the culmination of the video that you're going to watch now. And hopefully you'll enjoy it, and hopefully you'll learn something from it. But this is one of those moments where you don't have time to think about it and to do an intro, you just do it. So in this case, the intro is actually being filmed after the fact. And hope you get something out of it, and here it goes. Had a good night's sleep last night. It rained off and on throughout the night. The temporary shelter that I put up for the communal shelter, just to get out of the rain, it sort of did a good thing, even though I had angled the center of it to drain off a little bit. Apparently I didn't do it enough. So I have this huge collection of rainwater here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and utilize that to replenish my water supply. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that now. The amount of water that collected in that overnight, that's easily a gallon of water. And our closest water source is a creek, a good little walk from here, and it's downhill. So once I get all the water I need from the creek, I also have to climb back up the hill. And so this is a quick and easy, ready supply of water that I don't have to, exert any extra effort or energy to procure. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. My water bottles are empty. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be the vessel I'm going to collect the water in. And I'm going to use my shemagh as a strainer to strain out all the debris that's also in the water. So I'm going to put it right around through here like that. I'm going to tuck it in just a little bit. So that way there's a nice little recess right in there. I'm going to use a canteen cup, a water bottle cup, to dip the water out of the puddle that's in the fly, and just pour it right in there till it's full. Then when I lift the shemagh out, I can hang it up to dry, and when it's dry, shake out any of the debris that's come off. Sort of tricky getting the shemagh to stay in there. Hold it right like that. That should work. Take just a little bit for the water to soak through the shemagh, and once it soaks through, it's going to drain through pretty easily. Right now, it sounds exactly like the water's pouring straight into the bottom of the water bottle. Got all kinds of little debris in here. I've got dogwood blossom petals, some seed pods, leaves, and at this point I'm getting so much water in there, I'm going to keep an eye on, and it's full. Just keep an eye on it so I don't overfill it. Put this back in here. I barely made a dent in the amount of water that's there. So I have my water bottle. Remove my shemagh, drape it right there. Completely full, pure rainwater. Everything's been sifted out of it, so quick and easy, and no purification necessary. A little bit later, I'm going to show you how I procure water from the stream and how I'm going to go about sanitizing it. I was just getting ready to refill the next Nalgene bottle with the rainwater that was collected in the tarp. And one of those things is, you sort of like get a spur of the moment thought. I was having a problem getting the shemagh to stay down inside of it. It was slippery. It was wanting to pull back out until I got it wet, and it did okay. And take my shemagh, tuck it down in there. My elastic band that I use for my ponytail goes right on there. We're just going to hold this in place so I don't have to worry about it sliding off again. It's got it right on there, right around that lower lip. It'll do the job. Now, if by any chance I did not have a shemagh, a bandana, my t-shirt could work every bit as easily. And again, since this is rainwater, it was distributed here just a few hours ago, you don't have to worry about sanitizing it. All you really want to do is to get the bugs, the leaves, the seed pods, the blossom petals and things like that out. About 2.5 cups and it's full. Again, we're going to go down to the creek and I'm going to show you how to collect water down there. Earlier in the day, I was able to get 7 liters of water out of the rainwater that had collected on the tarp. And that's a significant amount of water. That was all water that can go straight to drinking water. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk down the hill and I'm going to get some water from our creek, which is all spring fed. And it's good water, but it's still water that is, in a rushing stream, and animals drink out of it. They go to the bathroom in it. There are animals that live in it. And so any water that you procure from a natural source like that, you're going to want to sanitize that. I always bring some type of a dirty water container, and that is water that is contaminated or presumed to be contaminated. I use 2-liter collapsible Nalgene bottles I've had for years and years, and in order to make it easier for me to transport it from the bottom of the hill back up, my side pouches here I use as sustainment pouches are actually shoulder bags. So each one of them has a shoulder strap that I can detach it and use it for a little day pack. Just to go out on little hikes, little excursions out from base camp if I don't want to take my whole pack. So I have a shoulder strap. I'm going to go ahead and clip that through the eyelet or the grommet. Do that on both sides. And that is going to make a nice little carrying system for the water. This is going to wind up being a pad for the strap, and it's also going to provide me a filtration system to filter out any sediment if the water is going to be disturbed and sediment is stirred up within the water, I'm going to put in the containers. The last thing I'm going to need is some type of way to get the water from the creek and into the bottles, and that will be just a water bottle cup. I've got this. So let's go on down the hill, get to the creek, and get some water. Now this is a perfect little pool of this spring water that feeds through the creek. It's probably about 10-12 inches deep. There is sediment in the bottom, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get the deep spot here to be able to dip our cup into without disturbing any of the sediment. But we're going to treat the water as if we're going to be getting sediment in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing that I did with the water bottles earlier. And I am going to use the elastic hair tie to hold the shemagh in place. And yes, there are living organisms in here. I see them swimming around. And so that's something I don't want to drink. That's also something I do not want to cook when I'm sanitizing the water. So we will do the best we can with filtering them out and shaking them out so that they can return right back from where they came from. And we can get water. We were really blessed with being able to have the rain and the accidental collection of the rainwater today. We don't always have that. And with the terrain of where I live, it's pretty extreme. So if you want good, clean water, you have to work for it or you have to pack it all in. And it's very heavy to pack in up the hills. So it's better to use what you need than go after more. So I'm going to very carefully just sink the cup in and allow that top water to enter my cup. Give it a quick look, because if there's any little critters in there that's swimming around and I can scoop them out now, it's going to be a whole lot easier. And just like before, take just a minute for that shemagh to soak through, and it'll go right into the water bladder. If you are going to get in a habit of collecting your own water, I would recommend highly to make certain that you have some type of a collection bladder, and you designate that as dirty water or contaminated water. You don't want to scare anyone to think that there's something really, really bad in it, but you also don't want anyone accidentally drinking water that has not yet been sanitized. I just thought it was absolutely fantastic that just by accident, we hadn't planned on collecting the rainwater, but our tarp collected the rainwater for us, and being able to get 7 liters out of that puddle that was in there. That was just awesome. And as fun as it was walking down the hill, and as pretty as it was seeing the stream and the rocks and all this, I'm not really looking forward to walking back up this hill with the extra weight. But it's just one of those things you got to do. This bladder's feeling pretty heavy, so it's got to be getting close to being full. And it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this, and I'm going to fill the other bladder, and then we'll head on back up the hill. I just wanted everyone to see just how crystal clear this water is that comes out of these hillsides from the springs contained therein. And it is very cold, and it's just crystal clear. Zoom in just a little bit, and like I said, this is about 10 inches deep, and you can see right down into it. I did want everyone to know that I inspected the shemagh when I shook it out. There was no living organisms that I could see in them, so hopefully they're still safe and in the water. It was quite warm walking down the hill, and I suspect it's going to be warmer walking back up. So using the shemagh to filter out any sediment that may be in there is really going to come in handy. This water is cold. Oh, and it feels so good. Now, let's see if my makeshift yoke works out and get this water back up to camp and get it sanitized. I probably won't bore you with my struggles clawing my way up the hillside, so I'll see you in camp. I made it up the hill. Well, I'm certain all of you will be happy to know that I have completely recovered from the climb back up from the valley below with the water. And when I got back up to camp, the clouds had parted, the sun came out, it was absolutely beautiful, which afforded me the opportunity to utilize another water purification technique. When you have a clear container like this is, and you have a water that you may fear may be contaminated, may have bacteria, microorganisms in it that's not very good for us, if you put that in direct sunlight and leave it there for 8 hours, it will completely kill all the bacteria, all the microorganisms, and you now have purified water. If I didn't have that opportunity, I would have had to make certain that we had empty water bottles. We would have boiled the water. We would have allowed the water to cool, and then to put them back in the water containers that we had available. And this container would still be considered a contaminated water container. But since it went through the solar process, I can drink directly from this container now. Nice little trick to know, something you might want to consider in the future if you have to draw water from a questionable water source. If you strain your water out, make sure there's no sediment in your bottle, and then allow that to sit in the sun, direct sunlight for solid 8 hours. You've got good potable water. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had a ball doing this footage, even though it was a painful coming back up that hill, but it was really enjoyable for me because I saw a opportunity to be able to get some footage and to do a little bit of teaching along the way. And hopefully you will have learned at least 2 different methods of which be able to get water that you're going to be able to either drink or to be able to process to be drinkable, to be able to sanitize it. And I provided you with 2 different ways of sanitizing it. And hopefully those are things that you're going to be able to use, and hopefully you will use in the future. I know what I know, and I'm learning every day. I don't claim to be an expert on anything. So if someone out there knows another way, a better way, things like that, put it in the comments. If you really enjoyed what you watched, put it in the comments. If you didn't really like it, you're being very critical, and you think there's something I need to do to improve the video quality, or something I may have messed up on as far as the water purification and things like that, put it in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. The only thing I would appreciate is if you give me a thumbs down, go ahead and put in the comments as to why. Because I'm just starting with all this, and I really want to improve. I want to do this the best I possibly can. And if you say it's a bad video and you tell me why, I can do everything I can in the future to make certain that it's better than the one that you gave me the thumbs down for. And then hopefully, if I get good enough at it, the next one you see after that, hopefully I'll earn a thumbs up from you. If you enjoy what you're seeing with these videos, please click subscribe. If you want to see them on a regular basis, I'm going to try to do this every Wednesday. And if by any chance I can get more footage, or I feel something's pertinent enough I need to get it out there fast, I'll do it definitely between the 2 posting dates. And the best way you can find out when those things are available is by clicking the notifications bell. And I've enjoyed my time camping with my friends. I've enjoyed doing the videoing, and I'm certain I'll be enjoying the editing as well, especially when I go through all my bloopers and laughing at myself. And yeah, laughing at myself a lot, and hopefully putting it all together in a coherent way for you to watch it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.